Section 6.1, Multiplication and Division of Rational Expressions. Rational expressions are fractions such as negative x squared over 2xy and 3x plus 1 over x minus 5 and 5x over x squared minus x minus 6. These are all examples of rational expressions. Find all numbers for which the following rational expressions are undefined. Remember, undefined means the denominator must equal 0. So looking at our first example, 3x plus 1 over x minus 5, what must x be to cause this denominator to equal 0? Well, we take that denominator, x minus 5, and we set it equal to 0 and solve for x. And we get x equals 5. If x is 5, our denominator will say 5 minus 5, and that gives us a denominator of 0, which is undefined. In the second example, 5x over x squared minus x minus 6, again, we are looking for all values of x that will make this denominator equal to 0. So we set that denominator equal to 0 and solve for x. This is a quadratic equation, so we must factor. Factors of x squared are x and x. Factors of negative 6 that when we add give us negative 1 would be a negative 3 and a positive 2. So now we set each factor equal to 0 and solve for x in both cases. And we get x equals 3 and x equals negative 2. Simplify negative 28x squared y to the 5th over 4xy to the 6th. To simplify rational expressions, we're really reducing. So we're going to reduce the negative 28 and the 4. 4 goes into itself once and into negative 28 negative 7 times. X squared divided by x, this x goes into itself once and into here twice, eliminating one of them, leaving an x. And these 5 y's reduce out 5 of these y's, leaving y to the first. So what we have left then is negative 7x in our numerator and y in our denominator. Another example, let's simplify x squared minus x over 42 all over x squared plus 8x plus 12. Before we can simplify, we must first factor, because in order to reduce, both numerator and denominator must be in multiplication form. And currently, we are in subtraction and addition. We must factor first. So we're going to factor the numerator. Factors of x squared are x and x. Factors of negative 42 that when we add them together give us the negative 1 in the middle are positive 6 and negative 7. Now we factor the denominator. Factors of x squared again are x and x. Factors of 12 that when we add together give us an 8 in the middle are 2 and 6, both positive. Now we look at our factors and we see that we have an x plus 6 in the numerator and an x plus 6 in the denominator. They reduce out. And we are left with x minus 7 over x plus 2. Multiply rational expressions. Before we can multiply, we really should reduce. That will give us our final answer in reduced form. If you multiply first, you will end up with some very large values, and it will be harder to factor and reduce. So we're going to reduce first, which means we first must factor every place we can. We can factor this numerator and we can factor this denominator. And that will give us 2x over x times x minus 6 times 5 times x minus 6 over 3x. Now here the x minus 6 cancels out, and this x cancel out. So what we are left with in our numerator is 2 times 5, which is 10, and in our denominator 1 times 3x, which is 3x. Final answer is 10 over 3x. To divide rational expressions, since they are fractions, you cannot divide. So we must change the division to multiplication and flip the second fraction upside down. So that will give us 6x to the third over 8x minus 40 times 3x minus 15 over 30x to the fourth. Now we want to reduce to lowest terms and then multiply. But in order to reduce, I must first factor this denominator. So that's going to give me 6x to the third over, pull an 8 out, leaving x minus 5 in parentheses. I must also factor this numerator. I can pull a 3 out, leaving x minus 5 in parentheses. And now I can reduce. The x minus 5's cancel out. The 3's reduces the 30 to a 10. The 6 and the 10 both have a common factor of 2. So 2 goes into 6 3 times, and 2 goes into 10 5 times. And this x to the third reduces out the first 3 of these x's, leaving x to the first power. What we have left in our numerator is 3 times 1, which is 3, and our denominator 8 times 5 times x, which is 40x.